What is up, everybody? Today, I want to be showing y'all how to track calories, how to find your calories, and how to bulk, maintain, and cut. So it's going to be a lot of information. Just try and keep up. It's kind of boring. Got to do some math. But if you don't want to do the math portion, I'll put a timestamp on where to skip. But this is how I find my calories. I find it to be more accurate than the actual calculator online, but I will link it below. It's just bmrcalculator.com. So the first thing we're going to do our body weight in pounds. So I weigh 225. And remember, I told you guys last video, I maintain at around 2,800 calories to 3,000. You're going to do your body weight in pounds. So if you're 180, do 180. I'm 225, so I'm doing 225. Multiply that by 10, and that equals 2250. So this is your BMR right here. A rough estimate, because everybody's BMR is different. Not every 225 pound man's BMR is this. You basically just have to find it yourself, but this is a rough estimate. So this is my BMR, which is basal metabolic rate. That's basically if I just laid in bed all day, didn't move a muscle, or if I was like in a coma, this is how many calories I would burn per day. Now we have to find our total daily energy expenditure. Okay, so that's moving around. That's what I'm doing right now. Right now I'm burning calories because I'm moving around. So working out, getting out of bed, going pee, all those are part of your total daily energy expenditure. So the way we find that is, depending on how active you are, you're going to multiply this number that you get by 20% if you have a sedentary lifestyle, which is a desk job, by 30% if you're pretty active, and then 40% if you're very active. So for me, I go around the pretty active because I do work in a warehouse, but I'm part-time, so I'm only there for about 5 to 6 hours. And then I do work out afterwards. But if somebody was working at a warehouse for 8 hours to 10 hours, then they would be in this very active lifestyle. But I normally stick around 30%, and it's perfect for me. So 30% of 2250 is 675. So I'm going to add 675 to this to get my total, which is 2925. So hypothetically, if this is correct and I tracked my calories, if I ate this many, my body weight would stay the exact same. So that's how you find your maintenance. The only way to really do this is if you track your calories, and I would suggest 2 apps for that, either MyFitnessPal, which now they have their barcode scanner behind a paywall, or Cronometer, I believe it's called. Yeah, Cronometer, and I will link those in the description below. Those basically just make it pretty easy. You can scan a barcode and then it'll just pop up. Like say I drink a Monster and it's 210 calories. I just scan the barcode and it's in there. So that's the real only way to tell. And whenever you're tracking your weight, make sure you do a weekly average. So what I do is I have a notepad in my bathroom in the drawer, and I weigh myself in the morning, and if I'm 225.6, I'll just put 225.6, put the date on there. I'll add 7 of the days up and divide by 7, and then you'll get your weekly average. Definitely do weekly averages because water weight can change it. Or, you know, if you have too much sodium, or if you eat a little bit later in the day, or if you don't go to the bathroom, just to get a more accurate representation of how your weight is doing. That's how you find the calories to maintain. As long as you stay in that weekly average of 29.25, you should maintain your weight. And like I said, your weight will fluctuate. That's why you do a weekly average. So the reason you would want to maintain weight is actually what I'm doing right now. I don't want to bulk because I don't want to gain too much fat, but I also don't want to cut, and I want to main gain. So I'm staying the same weight, but I'm doing progressive overload in the gym, which is where you either add reps or you add weight after your form is perfect and you hit a certain amount of reps. You'll add 0.25 pounds on each side, or you'll add 5 pounds. Strength goes up, so that means you're building muscle, but you're not gaining weight. Bulking, because a lot of people have a problem with bulking. I've never actually done a full-on bulk, but the reason I haven't is because it's so easy for me to overeat. But for a lot of people, they say this. Ever since I started lifting and I started getting bigger, this is the #1 thing I hear whenever people ask how I got big. They say I can't gain weight, or they just can't eat enough. So if you're doing an aggressive bulk, I would do 500 calories, which equates to 3,500 calories per week added to your total calories. And that's equal to 1 pound of fat. And the reason you want to gain fat sometimes on a bulk is because it'll help your muscles have more fuel, and your body will be fueled up with more calories, meaning you can push more weight, therefore adding more muscle. So this would be an aggressive bulk in my opinion, because you want to gain as little fat as possible. But if you really have a problem gaining weight, I would stay around 500. But if you don't have a problem gaining weight, I would do 200 to 500. This is what I would do personally, is the 200. And the problem with people who say I can't gain weight is they're just eating crap most of the time. They're eating McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, or, you know, they think they're eating well, but they're not eating enough good food. So what I would do is I would track your calories, see where you're at. See if you're around this number For you, it's going to be different, but for me, I would see if I was around 29, 25. And once you get to that point, start adding things. These are very high calorie foods, okay? These are cheat codes, if you will. They're gonna make you feel okay. You're not gonna be overly full. These are things, if you have a problem gaining weight, you can eat these and you're not gonna be going crazy or doing a dirty bulk. So I would do olive oil because 1 tablespoon is equal to 120 calories and you're not even gonna taste it. My daughter has a really bad habit of not eating enough and she'll lose weight and she's only 28 pounds and she's very tall for her age. So I actually put a tablespoon of olive oil in her oatmeal every single day and she has no idea. Can't even tell the difference. Next thing is peanut butter, or if you're allergic to peanut butter, just do any kind of nut butter. Drink milk if you can. If you don't like milk, do the soy milk. I don't know what brand it is, but they have a soy milk that's like 210 calories and it's like 20 grams of protein. I would stay away from mass gainers because they're really a waste of money. I'll show you guys how to make your own here in just a moment. But mass gainers are full of additives and you have to use like 4 scoops and it's only gonna last you a month and it's expensive. It's like $100 for a big old can, but you're not realizing you have to use 4 to 5 scoops and it really tastes bad. It's chalky. You see the 1,200 calories and you're like, oh my gosh, I need this right now, but it's a really bad. I'll show you guys how to make one, and if you're around this number, it'll put you way over your calories if you have a problem gaining weight. This is Cannon's. Oh, I just spelled my name wrong. Hold up. Mass gainer. I don't know why I started going lowercase, but F it. You're gonna do 2 scoops of ice cream. It'll add about 340 calories, and it makes it taste a lot better, as you can imagine. 2 scoops of protein, which will add 240 calories. I would do 2 tablespoons peanut butter, which is equal to 380 calories. Cup of milk, I think is 170 calories. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which once again, I know it sounds bad, but you won't even be able to taste it. It's literally, there's no reason not to. It'll add 120 calories. So that'll bring you up. This shake in and of itself, which you can drink half, put the rest in the freezer, whatever. It is 1,250 calories. And I know you're using a lot of stuff, but you're only using a little bit of each thing, so it's not gonna be too bad. It's gonna be 61 grams of protein. But this is very high quality protein as opposed to the mass gainer, which is just full of additives to keep it good. Mass gainers last till like 2028. This will taste really good if you have a good protein. I suggest PE Science protein. Obviously not a sponsor. I have 59 subscribers. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So this will add 1,250 calories to your daily total. And if you're around this number already, or even if you're not, most people that have a problem gaining weight are the really skinny guys. Or skinny women. The reason they have a problem gaining weight is because their stomach is so small. Your stomach has elasticity to it, so the more you eat, the bigger it gets, and that's why bigger people can eat so much more, is because it stretches out and then they can eat a lot. So if you're bulking and you eat this and you're eating 1,250 calories, it's not going to fill it up that much. The blender will probably be, I'm going to draw a blender for you guys. Here's the fill line, okay? This will probably be about right here. So yes, it's quite a bit, but you can literally drink half of it, put the rest in the freezer or in the fridge, and it's going to taste really good still. So hopefully if you guys have a problem gaining weight, add things like olive oil, add peanut butter. Milk's gross. If you want soy milk, you can get that. I don't personally drink milk. Grosses me out, but if you can, it's wonderful. Olive oil, any kind of nut butter. Apparently you can nut anything. There's all kinds of nut milk. Hopefully that will help with your bulking journey. Cutting. This is my hardest thing to do. I know some people say bulking is hardest. I hate cutting. Once again, 500 calories a day dropped, I would say is aggressive. And then 200 is once again where I would stay. Because if you're dropping your calories by 200 a day, you won't notice a huge difference, but you're not gonna lose as much muscle as if you were to do 500, because pretty much no matter what, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're most likely gonna lose muscle unless you eat a ton of protein, which I do, but I know it's hard for a lot of people to get that protein in. The only way to drop the calories less is if you raise this number. So how do you raise your total daily energy expenditure? Cardio. Dreaded cardio. I hate cardio. But if you want to eat more, you got to do it. Because the more calories your body burns, the more you can eat and not gain weight. If you don't want to do cardio, here's what you do. Cut out pretty much everything I said on the bulking section. So switch peanut butter for powdered peanut butter. Add a little bit of water, make it the same consistency. It drops the calories from 180 to 50. So you drop 130 calories, still has the same amount of protein, and it's not as good, obviously, but if you're craving peanut butter, mix it with water, put it on a sandwich, put it on white bread, whatever, and add sugar-free jam, Tastes pretty good. It gets the craving to go away. Instead of milk, like I said, drink nut. Fire. Almond milk's the best in my opinion. I know a lot of people like cashew milk, but I like almond milk. And then instead of olive oil or oil in general, use spray. I cannot tell the difference whenever I use olive oil spray at all. But whenever I'm bulking or I'm trying to like maintain my weight and I'm just not hungry, but I'm trying to get around this number, I will add olive oil and I cannot taste a single difference. Instead of eggs, only use a few eggs and use egg whites. If you're cutting, try and keep your protein to 1 gram per pound to keep you full. Try and keep your fiber high. It keeps your body full because it's slow digesting. So try and keep your fiber high, your protein high. High protein foods include Greek yogurt, you know, obviously protein powders, chicken breast. Unless you're getting the leanest ground beef you can, I would opt for chicken or turkey. It's not going to taste as good, but if you season it the exact same, there's hardly a difference. Just don't eat it straight up, or else you will be able to tell the difference. But if you're making tacos and you use turkey or you use ground chicken and you season it the same, you really won't be able to tell the difference. So hopefully that helps you guys find your calories. Pretty much find these numbers with either the link in the description or the formula I showed you, and then either add or subtract 500 to 200 depending on if you're bulking or cutting, and you will see results. Results may be slow if you do 200, be a little bit faster if you do 500, but you want to hold on to as much muscle as possible, obviously, because you spent so many years building it up. That's the end of our class today. Hopefully you guys learned something new, and until next time, stay fitting.